Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to all of you. Welcome to Spa Education, myself Radha, and today we are going to discuss yeast and mold, and this topic is mainly from unit 2nd, that is food microbiology, hygiene and sanitation. And we already discussed characteristics of microorganism, their morphology, we already discussed about viruses, fungus, protozoan, bacteria, their structure, as well as how we can detect gram positive and gram negative bacteria. And today we are going to target yeast and mold. So what is yeast? Yeast is a single cell living organism that is larger than bacteria. How larger than bacteria? Because yeast length is ranges between 5 to 10 micron, but bacteria are less than 5 micron. So that's why size of yeast is larger than bacteria. And yeast cell are oval or ellipsoidal in shape. So shape of yeast cell can be oval, can be ellipsoidal. And the presence of yeast cell in food can be useful or harmful. How useful? Because manufacturing of certain food. Manufacturing of certain food, it is useful. Like in case of bread, beer, wine, vinegar and cheese. And yeast cell can be a source of high protein. So it's very important. Yeast cell are a source of high protein. But yeast may cause spoilage of fruit juice, syrup, honey, jellies, meat, wine, beer and other food. So it can be harmful. So in one line if I want to say, presence of yeast cell in food can be useful or can be harmful. So it's active dry yeast that we mainly use for making dough. And the shape of yeast can be spherical, oval shaped, cylindrical, and the size is ranges between 5 to 10 micron, and cell wall is made up of chitin. And the cell consists of cytoplasm as well as nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm is the fluid that filled inside the nucleus, as well as cytoplasm is the fluid that filled inside the cytosol where all the organelles are present there. So it's a structure of yeast cell that consists of cytoplasm, ribosome for protein synthesis, mitochondria, powerhouse for ATP production, vacuole for storage purpose, cell wall for protection, lipid granules as well as nucleus where DNA, RNA or we can say genetic material is present here. So what are the important point of yeast cell? High source of protein, cell wall is made up of chitin, in case of fungus as well. Size ranges between 5 to 10 micron and larger than bacteria. Clear? How yeast grow? So, how yeast grow? By the process of budding. So the most common means of yeast reproduction or growth is by a process called budding. So in budding, after a cell reach a certain size and maturity, a small bulb or bud form on one side of the cell. Suppose It's a cell, yeast cell. Yeast cell. And after a cell reach a certain size and maturity, then what happen? A small bulge, or we can say bud, form on one side of the cell. Part of the cell nucleus pass into the bud. Let's suppose in yeast cell nucleus is also present and other organelle also present and its cytoplasm. So after a cell reach a certain size and maturity, a small bulge or bud form on one side of the cell. Part of the cell nucleus pass into the bud. Part of means this nucleus also pass into this bud. When the bud becomes sufficiently large, a cell wall is formed between the bud. Cell wall is formed between the bud and the mother cell, and bud break off from the cell, and what form? The bud is typically yeast cell capable of reproducing by the same process. So unlike bacterial cell, yeast cell contain a definite nucleus that can be observed easily when cells are stained and examined under a microscope. So true nucleus is present in case of yeast but absent in case of bacteria. So yeast cell also contain a fairly well defined cell wall and reserve food granules. Some yeast reproduce by forming endospore, means by spore formation yeast also reproduce. In most instances where spore are present, the cell contain 4 spore. Although the number may vary from 1 to 16, spore are not resistant to adverse condition. Both spore and yeast cell are easily killed by heat. So what we studied, that yeast grow by the process of budding. What is budding? In budding, when a yeast cell reach a certain size and maturity, a bud form on one side of the cell, and after some time part of the nucleus of the yeast cell pass into the bud, and when bud becomes sufficiently large, bud break off from the cell and typically a new yeast cell reproduce. And yeast cell also contain a definite nucleus as well as cell wall and vacuoles for food preservation. Some yeast cell reproduce by the formation of spore, but both spore and yeast are not resistant to adverse conditions. They can be killed by heat easily. So budding, it's mature cell or parent cell that consists of nucleus, its cytoplasm, ribosome and other organelle. So it's a parent cell, and when it reaches to a mature stage, a bud or a bulge form at one side of the cell, and nucleus passes into the bud. Nucleus division, and then nucleus divide, that is called karyokinesis, and then cytokinesis, and a new cell form. So bud separate from parent cell. Yeast are divided into two principal groups, true yeast and false yeast. True yeast reproduce by forming spore within the cell, and false do not form spore under any condition. So the common bread or baker's yeast like Saccharomyces cerevisiae and wine yeast Saccharomyces cerevisiae or ellipsoides are the example of true yeast. Why? Because they reproduce by the forming spores. What we studied, that yeast can be reproduced by the process of budding, or by endospore formation, or by spores, forming spores within the cell. So spore forming, that is true yeast, and false yeast do not form spore under any condition. Example of true yeast is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, and Cryptococcus yeast commonly found in cream and butter, and Mycoderma, which cause the grayish white scum on pickle brines, are example of false yeast because they do not form spore. What factor affect affect the growth of yeast cell? First one is temperature, second one is moisture, third one is food, next pH. So all these factors affect the growth of yeast cell. How temperature affect the growth of yeast cell? Most yeast grow best at room temperature, that is 70 degree to 85 degree Fahrenheit or 37 degree Celsius. Though some kind can grow at 32 degree Fahrenheit, and most yeast growth is inhibited above the room temperature or above 100 degree Fahrenheit. So temperature affect the growth. Second one is moisture. Most of the common yeast require a plentiful water supply for growth. However, many yeast will grow in presence of high sugar or salt concentration. In general, yeast require less water than bacteria but more than mold. Means for growth, yeast require less water than bacteria but more than molds. Third one is food. Sugar and acid are good food source for yeast. Growth is abundant in food substance containing carbohydrate and varying amount of acid. So when there is a presence of sugar and acid, yeast can grow very easily. Typical end product for yeast growth in this type of environment are carbon dioxide and ethyl alcohol. These are the end product. Yeast also require nitrogenous food varying from simple compounds such as ammonia and urea to the more complex amino acid, polypeptide and protein. Excess growth factors such as vitamin also require. So, for growth of the yeast, the growth medium that is appropriate, that consists of carbohydrate, growth medium for yeast, if consists of carbohydrate that is sugar and starch, and amino acid or nitrogenous food, as well as amount of acid, varying amount of acid. So yeast cell grow appropriately. So food also affect the growth. Next one is oxygen. Yeast grow best in presence of free oxygen, means aerobically, but some can grow slowly anaerobically without oxygen. So yeast can grow aerobically as well as anaerobically in both the condition. pH. The growth of most yeast is favored by an acid reaction. Yeast grow well as pH of 4 to 4.5. So yeast grow in acidic pH, and but do not grow well in alkaline medium, means 7 or above than 7. Next one is mold. Molds differ from bacteria and yeast in that they have many cells. Because bacteria is unicellular, but mold have many cells, so they are different from bacteria and yeast. The cottony appearance of mold on food is familiar to everyone. Usually, moldy or mildew food are considered unfit for it. Their growth on a food or either nutrient source result in a mass of loosely entwined filament collectively called mycelium. Individual filament are called hyphae. So when mold grow on a food, the filamentous collection is called mycelium. Like when it grow, individual filament called hyphae, but when hyphae form a filamentous condition, it is called mycelium. Though many molds spoil food, some mold are useful in the manufacturing of the food. Several types of cheese are ripened by mold. Oriental foods such as soya sauce are produced by mold. Mold also are used in the manufacturing of chemical, and the antibiotic penicillin is produced by certain mold of the genus Penicillium. So, Aspergillus, Penicillium, these can be the example of it. So, common indoor mold like Cladosporium, Penicillium, Alternaria, Aspergillus. So, Aspergillus, It's look like this under microscope. Classification: allergenic and toxigenic, found in damp wall and surface in the home, and dangerous condition, allergic reaction and lung disease. Next one is cladosporium. So it's allergenic or pathogenic in nature, found area with no sunlight, in the absence of sunlight and poor ventilation. Dangerous allergy symptoms, nail infection and eye infection. Next one is alternaria, allergenic in nature, where it found in carpet, in wallpaper, window frames and air conditioning system. And what it can cause pulmonary disease or lung disease as well as asthma and allergic reaction. Penicillium, allergenic in nature, where it found where there is indoor moisture, in moisture condition, and what it can cause hay fever and lung inflammation. So what factor affect the growth of mold? Most of the factor that influence yeast growth also influence the growth of mold. Like when we studied about that what factor affect the growth of yeast, so we studied about pH, food, temperature, moisture and oxygen. So all these factors affect the growth of yeast. So most of the factors that influence yeast growth also influence the growth of mold. However, there are exceptions. Mold can grow in an environment with less available moisture than yeast. And mold are much less fastidious in their food requirement. There are very few material on which some type of mold cannot grow. Otherwise, all the factors that affect the growth of the yeast, same, those factors affect the growth of mold as well. Next one is mycotoxin. So it's very important. Under proper growth condition, certain mold can do more than spoil a product by rendering it moldly. They can develop high poisonous metabolic byproduct and the toxic substance are called mycotoxin. So under proper growth condition, mold can do more than spoil a product. Means more than spoil a product by rendering it moldy. They can develop high poisonous metabolic byproduct like mold under proper growth condition. In normal condition, it spoil the food. In normal condition. But under proper growth condition, more than spoil the food, it can develop poisonous effect. And these toxic substances are called poisonous substance and these toxic substances are called mycotoxin. So what is mycotoxin? When mold grow under proper growth conditions, so it can release certain kind of toxic substances and these are mycotoxin. So mold then produce these poison have been found in genera Fusarium, Cladosporium and Aspergillus. So these type of toxin, that is mycotoxin or poisonous byproduct, mainly produced by the mold genera like Fusarium, Cladosporium and Aspergillus. One mold that has been found to reproduce mycotoxin most consistently is Aspergillus flavis. So mostly Aspergillus flavis is the mold that produce toxic substance mycotoxin. So Aspergillus flavis genera belong to mold, produce a toxic substance mycotoxin. The poison produced by these organisms are called alpha toxin and the poison that they produce are called alpha toxin. Moldy feed to livestock have been found to contain aflatoxin. So aflatoxin, these poison produced by this organism Aspergillus flavus, serious illness and in some cases death may result from feeding ration contaminated with mold, because several genera of mold under proper growth condition develop poison, mainly Aspergillus flavus, that produce a toxic substance called mycotoxin, and the poison produced by this organism are aflatoxin. So serious illness and in some cases death may be result from feeding ration contaminated with mold. I hope it is very clear to all of you. So thank you so much everyone. If you find this video beneficial for you, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe this channel for more such kind of videos. And if you have any query regarding this lecture, you can comment down below. Thank you so much.